Good day, one and all. Kathy here with another episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. And today I'm going to make another card using this Simon Says Stamp GinaK Designs collaboration for their class. This is the Bold Summer Blooms stamp, stencil, and die set. And I'm also using the Bold Summer Blooms cover plate. And so this is what I really want to show you, is how to use an A2 sized cover plate when you make a 5x7 card. I have already cut two out and I have glued them together, and this gives you, I think it's like 4 3/4 by, let's see how wide this is, by 3.5 inches. So if you just put that in the middle of a card, that would look fine for just in the middle. But I'm going to try turning it on its side and show you how to use that today. So I have a piece of white cardstock that I'm going to put on the inside of my pink card, which measures 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at the 5-inch line, folded it, creased it with my bone folder. And I'm just going to get my large glue, and I'm just going to put the inside design down first. Well, not a design, just the inside. You could stamp this if you want to. I usually leave this blank for writing my sentiments on. I like to write a little note when I send a card. Okay. Now for this is going to be my base card, and this is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. I'm not cutting it down. I'm just leaving it at this size. And what I want to do is center that on here, and then I'm going to put this cover plate over on the far left side, and I'll move that up so I'm a little bit inside. Now, when you cut out this cover plate design, you get a whole bunch of little itty bitty flowers that you could dispose of. But with this kit, you can also stamp on them. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to glue this down in just a few minutes. But I'm going to use the stamp on here. And I'm going to put Hello Friend right there on the side. But I'm going to stencil on here first. I'm using one of my favorites, GinaK's Harvest Flourish. And I just kind of want to stencil this far edge without really going over into where this is. So I'm going to stop about here. I'm not going to go any further than this set of dots, if I can remember. All right, I'm just going to use soft stone, and I want a very, very light embossing. I'm just going to tap that off my pad. Very light, just to give it a little bit of a shadow in the background. Yeah, I think it's to do a little bit right there. Just like that. And it gives it just a hint of a design without overpowering what I plan to put on it otherwise. Just set that stencil aside to wash. Now I'm going to just use this and get my stamping platform out. I'm going to turn it this way. There. And I want to use the Hello Friend. Kind of want that to be a little lower than center. Just down a hair. All right, that looks good. That back in the corner, and I'm going to use my VersaFine Clear Nocturne, and I haven't conditioned the stamp, and I want to show you, if you don't condition, you kind of get like, not often, but you do get a textured, unfinished design. And if you forgot to condition, don't worry, just stamp it again. And there you go, nice crisp inking. Take that off, and I'm done with this stamping platform. Now, I do want to glue down my cover plate image. Now, what I did is I tried cutting this out first, and I needed to play around with the sandwich for my Anna Griffin Empress machine because I used the magnetic plate. And what I found is when I just used the magnetic plate without a shim, it didn't cut all the way through. But I saved part of this to use as a stencil, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I found with the Anna Griffin, if you use the magnetic plate like I do, you put the A plate, the magnetic plate, your cover plate and paper, the metal shim, and then the A plate. And that gives you a perfect cut each time. All right. Now I'm going to glue this on, and I'll use my large one again. Well, it shifted as I ran my hand down it. Okay. Now, I'm going to move some of this stuff so that I can glue this. I'm just going to glue. I put 2 layers of this together because what I'm going to do is on the inside of some of these flowers, I'm going to insert or inlay a stamped flower. And I'm just going to glue the outside edge and then the straight line portion of the center. I don't need to do around the flowers. It should stay down very nicely. Okay. And this, believe it or not, is almost identical, the same size as a 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Well, the 4 3/4. Now I'm just going to set that aside and put my acrylic stamping block on that just to hold it down while it's glued. And that'll dry. Now I'm going to get out my small stamping platform because see all these little tiny flowers? This stamp set has a little matching flower that fits that cutout perfectly. So what I did is I stamped it onto a plain piece of scrap cardstock, and then I just cut out one of these circles just like this, and I adhered it right down on top of that. And then you just take one of these die cut flowers and put on the inside. And I learned this from GinaK herself. Put your ink on here. And voila, you have a stamped flower. I'm just going to pick that up and set it aside. I'm going to do about 5 of these, I think. Maybe 6. I'll do 6 just to make sure. And this way you stamp in the exact same spot every single time. I'm going to leave this template in here though, because when I'm done with this project, I'm just going to stamp a whole bunch of these because there's a lot of them that came out when I die cut the cover plate. So I might as well just stamp the flowers and then I can color them in later for another project. It's 5. I'll do 1. Let's see. I'll just do 1 more. If I need more, then I'll do that. Okay. And I'll just clean that stamp off. Now, I took the stamp off, so I'll have to redo my template, but that's okay. That's why you save the pieces that don't always work, because they make a great template, and I have more. All right, so now I'm just going to stencil these little flowers, and I already had some of the leaves cut from yesterday's project. I had some extra leaves, and then I had some others because I made a card after that. So these flowers and stencil came in the kit. All right, and this is just a 2-piece stencil, and it's just this little flower down here. And I don't even really need to use a grip mat or anything. I can stencil right on here. And I'm going to use pink. I chose Dusty Rose. It kind of goes with the pink cardstock that I chose. And I'm just going to do like a light coloring on the flower. This is such a fun class. It was a class kit, they call it. And I ordered that because my craft night friends and I will get together and do this class. They were unable to make Friday's release of the class. So we'll do that together probably Wednesday night. I'm just going to clean this. Red does tend to stain stencils, and that's okay. All right, now, let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to put some of these inside. I'm going to start with this one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down in here. And I'm going to inlay that right into there. Come on. I might need more than the 6. So I want to skip a row. Yeah, I'm going to need 1 more, so I actually need 7. But that's okay. I can do that. Now with this stencil, you can also just ink right inside here. You can take the stencil and go right over this. And you know, I might try that with gray ink. I might just give that a try. I just need 1 more flower. And of course it's not going to be, let's see if that one I stamped. Yes, I'll use the one that I stamped. So I can just die cut that out. It'll just take me a quick moment here to die cut that. Okay. Do a quick stencil. I think I should have enough left on my brush that I don't need to re-ink it. Awesome possum. Okay. And that one I want to put down here. Oh, you know that one doesn't want to fit in there. That's the right stencil. Well, let's try stamping that all by itself. I'll do an old-fashioned hand stamp on here. Well, let me see how good of a job I can do. Just need a block. I must have grabbed I needed the template to do this instead of the die cut. The cover plate cuts this size out. Well, that one's bad. Let me try one more. I'm going to stand up. Apologize. Get that centered. That's pretty good. We'll go with that one. So the die cut, the stamp stamps the inside of the stencil and the inside of the rubber stamp. But the die cut does not die cut it out. You need to use the actual cover plate stencil for that. That's good to know. And I should still have plenty of ink on my brush. There we go. Right down in, right where it's supposed to. Looks like it was made to fit there. Now I want to see if I want to add on some of this greenery. I'm just going to put some here and there. I don't want that there because that would stick out. I do like the greenery on there. So I'm going to use a little pop-up dot, a Zot. And these are my larger Zots. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ball them up. And that will give it a little bit more dimension. It's just a glue dot. These are by Thermo-O-Web, and they're called Zots. Just clear glue dots. They do make three-dimensional ones, but this is the one I grabbed first. So I'm going to use what I have readily available. Okay. All right, now got that one little flower that did not go in with the die. Do I want to add that on here, or that's just a little too much? Actually, might be a little too much. No, I'm going to leave it off, and I'm just going to add a few of these. These are the micro disco balls from GinaK. They came with this kit for the class. And I'm going to put one of those in each of these little flower centers. So I need 7 of those. And these are just adorable little Aurora Borealis sheen to them. Now you could take these, they're cupped. So you could put them cup up, which I'm doing now, or cup down, like I did on yesterday's video. Just gives them a different effect. With the micro ones, they're so small that you can easily put them one way or the other. Depends on the look you're going for. All right. Now I want to add just a couple up here. Let me play with a placement. I like that placement. So that's where I'm going to put these. And these are so sparkly, I don't need to add anything else like stickles or any other glitter glue. Now, okay, that is my card for today. Very simple, showing how you can take an A2 cover plate and add it to your card that when you make 5x7 cards. It just adds a little extra something, something. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.